Forced labor was a social norm in Soviet society. For instance, for many years, Uzbek school children and students spent most of their academic period on cotton fields. However, today the Uzbek government is against these social norms. In this regard, authorities introduced a ban on forced labor in the Constitution of the Republic.
Xalqaro mehnat tashkilotining ma'lumotlariga ko'ra,
According to the International Labour Organization, over 30 million people worldwide are involved in forced labor. Over 11 million of them are women and more than 4 million are children. Just a few years ago, it was a common practice in Uzbekistan to forcibly mobilize social representatives, students and pupils to work, especially in cotton cultivation, weeding or harvesting. This practice of forced labor has significantly increased. As a result, human rights organizations, developed democratic states and textile companies announced a boycott of Uzbekistan's cotton. For 12 years, no one has bought Uzbek cotton due to the use of child labor in the industry.
According to Article 44 of the General Assembly, forced labor shall be prohibited except in the execution of a sentence imposed by a court decision or in order cases provided by the law. Any form that threatens the child's full physical, mental, and spiritual development, including hindering his or her education, shall be prohibited.
majburiy mehnatga qarshi kurashish
The struggle against forced labor has been very successful. All state agencies work together in a systemized manner against forced labor, and as a result, it has been completely eliminated today. This is undoubtedly recognized by the international communities as well.
Laws and acts prohibiting forced labor still exist today. One of the examples, Convention on the Prohibition of Forced Labor of Children, ratified by Uzbekistan. The Criminal Codes of the Republic on Administrative Responsibility and the Criminal Codes penalize the worst forms of child labor.
majburiy mehnat to'g'risidagi konvensiya
The Convention on Forced Labor was adopted by the International Labour Organization in the 1930s. However, after many years, forced labor still remains one of the most important issues facing the international community. Uzbekistan has adopted a number of conventions aimed at limiting forced labor, including the worst forms of child labor and other conventions relating to the smallest age and other forms of labor. The new labor code of Uzbekistan also includes a provision restricting forced labor for children.
Uzbekistan eradicated forced labor, which harmed its political image. This action will have a positive effect on the daily life of every Uzbek citizen.